Hey, everybody. Welcome. My name is Ed Diaz from Roland, and I want to welcome my partner, Scott Berry, also from Roland. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Ed. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. So today we have a special webinar we're going to do. Just kind of just have fun here. And we're going to be working with craftmusic.com. Craft Music is an incredible dealer of ours, great partner of ours. And I encourage you at different times during this webinar or webcast, I'm not sure, webcast, you go to craftmusic.com and check out all the bundles that they have available, specifically on the Fantom. So like, right now, just give you a quick peek, just see if you've never been to Kraft Music or you're unfamiliar. You can just go to craftmusic.com. Just go to Kraft Music. You can type in Roland Fantom, and you can see that they have the Fantom available in the 61, the 76, and the 88. And Kraft is really known for making some incredible bundles available for you. Some great bundles to get you going, whatever you need to get from them at Kraft. So great partner. So make sure you go to craftmusic.com and you can get in touch with your Kraft sales advisor. And if you want to, you can also call them at the 800 number, 800-783-3368. Okay, so now that we're back, let's go ahead and talk about why the Fantom is such a great, it's a new kind of creative hub that we can use for production and expressive performance. What do you say, Scott?
Absolutely. The Fantom is, it's a workstation. So you're going to get everything that you want in it. But the Fantom does things that other workstations out there, even our previous stuff, does a little bit better or has more to it. So it's definitely awesome. We'll kind of go through different ways that it would apply to you. I mean, if you're a gigging musician, I know it's a little different right now. If you're a studio musician, any of that type of stuff, worship teams, this keyboard will fit your style.
Absolutely. Worship teams, absolutely. And you know what? We're in a different time right now, but you know what? Let's not focus on that because this is a great time. If you want to start learning the Fantom, get into the Fantom and start learning. We have a bunch of videos to help you. You have some great salespersons at Kraft Music to help you, and start learning now. So when you hit that stage, or go ahead and your next church service, the Fantom can be there with you. So let's go ahead and talk about some different aspects of the Fantom that I know myself and Scott love. Hey, Scott, let me ask you this.
Sure.
Tell me about the modes that are in the Fantom. What kind of modes are in there?
Well, it's basically the Fantom's modeless. The easiest way to explain it is in most keyboards, even our previous stuff, let's take the previous Fantoms, you had a patch mode and then you had a layered mode, whether if that was live set or a performance, but they were separate. They had two different sections to them. You'd bring this into this. And then if you had a sequencer section or anything like that, that's over here. So there are always these different sections to go to. In the Fantom, and we'll break this down for you, everything is what's called a scene. So individual sounds would be saved in a scene. Layered or split sounds would be saved in a scene. Any sequence data would be saved in a scene. So you have a lot of information sitting in those scenes. And we'll also go through that there's a new, the latest update allowed scene sharing, basically, right?
Yeah. So I tell you what, let's go and take a look. I have my Fantom here, and I know you have yours. And help. Let's help everybody understand this, Scott. So right now, each one of these is a scene. That's what you're telling me. Each one is a scene in here, and so I don't have to be in a specific mode like a patch mode or a layer mode or a song mode. What you're saying is that the Fantom actually, I can do a song from here. I can play regular sounds from here, right? Everything is in that scene. No longer.
I was sorry to interrupt you, but what's so cool about this is that you don't have to break out and go, oh, I really like what I'm doing. I want to go record it now. So I need to move everything into the sequencer and start this. You can just start right where you're at and capture that idea.
So that's pretty cool, everybody. So like as Scott is saying, I could be here and I could say, you know what, let me go ahead and start with a single sound. And I might choose just a regular nice piano. That's nice piano. And I might say, you know what if I want to go ahead and layer this? Okay, I very easily I can go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to turn this on here. I'm going to turn this on here. And now let me make it so I can see more. I could go ahead and say, you know what, let's go ahead and put a string. And I don't have to go anywhere, right, Scott? I can just stay in this same mode and I can hit string. Now they are layered together, and that quickly. And I can even adjust the level between them. So here's my piano. Here's my string. Very fast.
What's cool is that in other boards and things like that, we've had to make sure that each part was on its own MIDI, or on the same MIDI channel to layer them and do a bunch of things before we could actually get them to be together. With the Fantom and the way that Roland does things, which is so awesome, you just have to light that second zone. If you look at Ed's keyboard right now, you'll see that there's two red buttons right above the sliders. And that's how quickly you can actually layer it. And not to mention, too, all the slider information underneath it. You can see the LEDs right away, what levels everything is just by glancing over. You don't have to guess at where the faders are.
And I got to tell you, that is great for on stage. I can just look at a glance and I can see, oh, this one's too loud or this one's too soft. And since it's lit, and you know, a lot of times we're on stages, whatever kind of stages, sometimes it's dark, and I can actually see
usually dark.
Yeah, usually very dark, and I can actually see everything very fast in here. And you know, it's nice. Maybe at my performance, I want to add another sound. I guess I don't have to get out of this scene, do I, Scott?
No.
What? So let's see. What would I do, Scott? I think so. I already had zone 1. And I have zone 2. So I guess
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
Scott.
I was going to say, you can go ahead and turn on the third light that's right above the third slider to add that part. But there's a little button on the very, very top of those. And you can see that little red button. That's like the select button. So if you like that, then it's going to automatically jump you in the screen. And also keep in mind, the screen is touch screen. So you can easily select anything just by touching the screen.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's cool. So you're telling me that the Fantom is very easy. I can go traditional and I can just say, you know, I want to add a choir, and I can hit choirs here and I can pop it open and look at all these sounds I have available. But I can say, you know what? I want to use this sound. I can jump around. So I want to use maybe angel choir, or maybe I want to use my cursors to jump around, or maybe I want to use my dial wheel. That's pretty cool how fast we can do that. And so I'll say, okay, so I can either touch it here, or I could go ahead, if I wanted to, just press down on this encoder knob, which allows me to just press right in there. And that quickly, if we did everything correct, Scott. Oh, look at that. There is my choir. here's my string, and here's my piano. So now all we have to do is, Scott, I think, is maybe balance them, and that's just a personal
Yeah.
preference. So I guess
You
all I
guys,
would have.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was going to say is you guys can see on the screen that you get instant feedback. The second Ed touches a slider, you see what's going on the screen. And this instant feedback, again, is just awesome to have for so many things, let alone cutoff or levels or panning or anything like that. You can get instant feedback. I just love that about the Phantom.
Yeah, I love that too. And so, real quickly, when I'm designing, we're making sounds or making a split or a layer. Very quickly, we can just come in and I can just live adjust my levels that fast, you know, that fast. And remind me, Scott, like I see 8 zones on top, but how many zones can we layer on top of the Phantom total?
You can layer a total of 16 tones. So what you're looking at is 8 at a time. There is a button that Ed can show you up here on the upper left that will then switch to 9 through 16. But you have instant access to everything that's sitting in that zone. And then we'll go over on the other side. But I think you guys can see real quickly how user-friendly this Phantom is. It's easy to layer. It's easy to go through it and adjust volumes. You don't have to go digging through menus. A lot of it is sitting here on the surface, which us keyboard players absolutely love.
Absolutely. I know. I love that too, that I can actually just come into here very quickly. And, we didn't prepare this at all. We just very quickly went in here. I chose my piano in my zone 1. And then I was like, hey, I want to add another sound. And piano, a lot of times, in maybe a worship situation, maybe I want a little bit of string. And then say, maybe I want a little bit of choir. I just go ahead and add that in there. And then I can actually mix them live. So that's just so cool that we can do that fast. But, let's talk about something else, Scott. Speaking
Yeah.
of church and worship and all that, sometimes we have to maybe have the multiple outputs. How do we plug this into like a big sound system? Because you know what, I have a picture brought up, and let's explain it to everybody how easy it is to hook the Phantom up to maybe a sound system. So check this out, Scott. Let you kind of lead us on this one. So what
Yeah.
are we looking at?
So on the back, you've got a couple different options for output. Again, if you're going stage and you're live, a lot of times keyboard guys were plugging into a snake, which is going to be XLR, and we're usually going through a direct box, a DI box. But because you've got balanced outs on the back of the Phantom, you could just go XLR straight out of the Phantom right into the snake if you wanted to. So that's a cool feature. The other thing is that you've got 1/4-inch outs. So you do have that option to plug the 1/4 inches into maybe your own personal mixer because you've got other keyboards or other things going on, and then out of that. But you also have sub outs. Now, what the sub outs are is they're not subsonic or for a sub speaker. They're alternative outputs. Where this is good, and I'll just give you a brief example, is that let's say we've got a scene set up where we've got a bunch of stuff, but we're also playing bass live or something like that. I may want that bass sound to go directly into a bass amp, or I want it separate in my system. I can run those out and I can direct that tone, which would be on a specific zone, directly out separately. So again, maybe we want the piano to be on its own, or we want strings to go out to something different, or choir to go out to something different to be processed differently or separated. You can do that in the subs.
So that's pretty cool. So as you guys can see, having the multiple outputs on the Phantom is very easy, and we're still not done. Now I'm going to answer a couple of questions that we're getting. Well, Scott and I will answer. I see Donnie Nicholson. He said, "Wow, do you have to have a pedal for other effects? Where is the sustain pedal?" Let's see. Where is this? Does this take sustain? No,
Yeah.
I'm being silly, everybody. Check this out. Here's what you get. I'll show you again the back of the Phantom here. You actually get 4 pedal input ports right here, 4 pedal, and each of them is completely assignable. Very easy to assign. So, here is your hold pedal. This is hold, but then you get 3 other controller ports in the back here. So very easy. I'm going to go ahead. I have a sustain pedal plugged in, but let me show you this. Watch this. So I have my Phantom. and I have the pedal underneath here. Now, if I want to assign a pedal, look how easy it is. All I do is press and hold shift. And on the Fantom, shift is your friend. Shift is your friend. So watch this. Press and hold shift, and I'm going to step on my pedal. And look, right away, the Fantom says, hey, that's pedal number 2. What do you want to put there? And so I can actually go in here and start deciding what do I want to put there. Very quick and very easy. Specific CCs, if I have some custom information I want to do, or maybe some other predetermined configurations right there, I can go ahead and do that. And then I would just say, okay. And then I would actually write it to that particular scene because, as Scott will tell you, the Fantom can have different pedal configurations for different
First thing,
scenes.
yeah. So you've got a lot of flexibility with anything that you want to use. I mean, you can use a separate pedal for moving through scenes. They could be triggering other things or turning things on and off. You have a lot of options. I also wanted to take a second, if possible.
Absolutely.
Guys, we've gotten the word that Kraft is doing some amazing deals on the Fantom right now. You need to call the 1-800 number. I think you're going to be blown away with what they're offering. And they're also giving away, while they last, shirts, the Fantom shirts like this for the Fantom. So I know it's maybe not a big deal, but I think they're cool. They have a reflective lettering on them. But the deals that we're hearing are pretty amazing, and you definitely need to call them and check it out, especially if you're on the fence or even considering it, because it's going to be worth it.
Yeah. Now let's answer another question, Scott.
Yeah.
I'll let you get this one. Ronald says, according to the specs, Fantom does not have Roland's supernatural sounds. Is this correct?
No, this is not correct, because originally when the Fantom was released, the supernatural sounds were not in there. The V piano was, which is our highest grade modeling piano. I mean, it's the ultimate. Full polyphony, full capabilities of tuning individual keys, characters, things like this that are just amazing. But as it's growing, we've added supernatural brass, supernatural string, supernatural acoustic pianos, supernatural electric pianos, some choirs, some basses.
Yes.
It's all sitting there.
And the nice thing is, as Scott is mentioning, it keeps growing. The great thing about the Fantom is that it's obsolete proof, because we keep on updating with added features and functionalities, and there are more on the way. So we can't wait to
That's
share
a
them.
great point. It's obsolete because it's constantly moving forward and constantly growing. I'm glad you brought that up.
Obsolete
Yeah.
proof. That's cool.
Love it.
But yeah, that is something that's going out. If you already check, the Fantom, I believe, has already had 3 to 4 updates since it's come out, and we just keep on adding features to it. So that's something that I definitely want you guys to check out, because depending on where you're reading the specs, it could be from months ago. But we had an update in January, and I don't know, maybe something might be right around the corner. We shall see. But this is a lot of cool stuff coming for the Fantom, as we are working on making it obsolete proof by adding features and functionalities. So Scott, let's keep the ball rolling, kind of having fun, since the Fantom is so much fun for live performance. One thing that I personally love about the Fantom is that I can go ahead and use it with my other keyboards, no matter make or model. So here's something that I'm just going to touch on just real quick. The Fantom allows you, it can be the master keyboard in your keyboard rig. If we look over here, and I'll just touch on it real quick, the Fantom has multiple MIDI outputs right here. So multiple MIDI outputs. So I can have the Fantom change sounds on another manufacturer's keyboards for me as I change scenes. This is really cool. I can have it change different drum kits, and maybe a Roland V drum kit if I wanted to. For my church musicians out there, maybe your young drummer doesn't pay attention and puts the wrong kit. I can go ahead and change the drum kit for him as I change scenes. Also, I can use this to change any kind of guitar processor that has MIDI. I can change it maybe at the front of the service. Maybe I have somebody that maybe the pastor's wife or somebody, a guest performer, that's playing on a keyboard, no matter make or model, but they don't know what to press, well, as the musical director for the church, I can go ahead and preset that sound via MIDI from my Phantom. So when I go to that particular scene, which I would probably name the hymn or the song, it would change that outboard MIDI gear for me. That's something that it's so easy to do, and I just want to mention it for you, especially in a church situation. If you're the musical director, this way you can go ahead. You can control your person on the V drums to make sure they have the correct drums, and then help anybody else out that needs help. So just wanted to mention that to you. Yeah, and so here's another awesome thing in there. The Phantom also has mic inputs with mic inputs balanced with phantom power. The Phantom has phantom power. So let's take a look at that real quick, just so you guys know. So right in here, if we wanted to, we can run audio from the Phantom right in here. I tell you what, you know what? I just get so excited talking about the specs. Scott, would you kind of play for us a little bit right now, kind of just show us some of the sounds? I just keep on talking about specs, but it doesn't matter if we can't hear it. So could you just play for us a little bit?
I did want to mention something really, really quick, if that's possible. Question
Absolutely.
for you guys out there on the board that are sitting watching this on Facebook and things. What are the most important things to you for the keyboard? Is it the amount of sounds? Is it sequencer? Is it controllability as being like a master keyboard, computer integration? Please let us know, and we'll go through those a little bit deeper. Okay, let's see what we got here. So one of the things that's really, really cool with the Phantom is that I can move from scene to scene without anything cutting off. So I think you guys can see real quick, it's really, really easy to do that. And some of the other things that are fun to do, and I'll just do this real quickly, is I'm going to mess with the cutoff filter here a little bit, and I'm going to change some of the parts. You can see as we've gone through that we've got 5 different layers here. But let me just go through it and you just get an idea. I think you guys saw how it showed up on the screen. And when you touch this, because it's touch screen, I can actually change the shape just from the screen. Just really, really cool stuff.
So let me ask you this, Scott, since we're showing some sounds. How many sounds come with the Phantom? You know, that's because you remember back in years and years ago when the keyboards, we had monophonic keyboards, you know, and then we'd have keyboards that had 16 sounds and 32 patches total, and then 64 patches.
64 is very common, especially in analog. You had the 8 banks. So 64 seemed like a lot back then.
Yeah, it was a lot of sound.
Now, out of the box, the Phantom, as of the earliest version, was what, 3,500, 4,000 sounds?
Yeah, 3,500, 4,000 sounds. Absolutely.
And let me show you guys this real quick. Once I go into my menu, if I go into utility and expansion info, there are 15 different EXZs. These are full expansion waveforms that are available. Wow. And when these are installed, plus with what's in the keyboard and any of the supernatural stuff that came in updates, we have a grand total of approximately how many sounds, Ed?
think we had over 9,000 sounds. It got to a point, Scott, where it was just like, okay,
Yeah.
I think my Phantom has about 9,500 over sounds, and I have more on the way sounds. And
Well,
just go ahead, Scott. I'm
the
sorry.
thing that's cool is that these expansions for Phantom are completely free. So you can take what's already sitting there, you can pick and choose what you want, or you can load them all in. There's no limit on how many, it's more of a percentage on memory. So you can load a lot of stuff into the Phantom. It's got a tremendous amount of memory.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, it's like, well, where do we get all these sounds? And I wanted to just show you real quick. You can go to rolandcloud.com. It's just Roland Cloud. Let's see, I'll go to the website first, and you can just take a peek. We have a bunch of different softwares available, but even more importantly than that, once I join Roland Cloud, I can go into my library and look at this. I can see, well, what's available for the Phantom? Look at this. I have all of these different sounds available for Phantom. So many expansion boards, so many sounds, some free, some paid, but there's a lot of content there for you for the Phantom. And so, and then I know our team with Roland Cloud is working on more content for you. So that's one thing we were talking about earlier, trying to make the Phantom obsolete proof by giving you
Right.
tons and tons of great content that you can use for your live performance and also for sequencing and sampling and all kinds of just fun production. So that's something that's really cool.
And
So
keep in mind, you don't have to have a paid subscription. You need to just have a free account if you wanted to get access to the EXZs and everything that's available there. Like Ed said, some is a little bit of paid content, but a lot of it's extremely affordable, like 99 cents a sound pack. But again, it's you buy the Phantom, you're in the ecosystem, you sign up with a free account with Roland Cloud, and boom, you have access to all this stuff for free.
So I tell you what, I'm gonna show. I want to show some sounds too, Scott. Okay, so
Awesome.
let's have some fun. I'm gonna show you guys my screen here, and so we can kind of go in and look at sounds. So as you see here, I have a bunch of zones that I can go ahead and just go through, and I can just hit enter, and I can choose the different banks, or I can use my cursors, or I can use my dial wheel right here. But what I like to do is just go into a single tone here, and just kind of look through sounds. Just so you guys know, inside the Phantom, one of the key engines that's in here is the V piano. And the V piano, when it was well, it's still for sale, but the V piano engine by itself was about $6,000 when you bought that. It's about 6,000 street price, something like that. But you get it included inside the cost of a Phantom. So this is something that's great here. So we can come into here and say, you know what? Let me go ahead and look inside, and I can come in here and kind of find my nice pianos that I want to use. Oh, let me go ahead and put my pedal back in. But very quickly, you can see. There we go. Put my hold pedal back in. I can choose that V piano. And one thing I love about the V piano is I can go in there and adjust different parameters of the V piano. I could say, you know what, let's go into here. I can go ahead and edit my tone, and I can go ahead and adjust how open the lid is, the string resonance, everything, even the tunings of individual notes. So if you're someone that's very particular about your piano, you owe it to yourself to have a Phantom with the V piano sound engine already in there. So that's something that's I love it already in there. Another engine that I want to talk about, and I could just choose right here, is the Z Core, the Zencore sound engine. So within the Zencore sound engine, you're going to see a lot of different things. We have a lot of preset banks already in here. We have different combinations of it, and it's great. So like say I wanted to come in here, and I'll choose my electric pianos, and I'll use maybe some of the Zencore, and I'll go ahead and maybe use this electric piano, phaser electric piano. So very nice. And if you notice on the Phantom, we have controllers at the bottom. So if I want to adjust different parameters, I can do it very quickly here. But then also, as I'm sure Scott will attest to, we have this whole other section of the Phantom we haven't even discussed yet. So if you want to
It's
really
where
get
it
it,
starts to get really cool. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah, Yeah, you can go ahead and you can adjust your oscillators, what type of filters, also your amp envelopes, the pitch envelope, filter envelope, and amp, and then the various effects. So this right here is really cool. Now, if you have a V piano, you might want to check out, if you're really a piano player, you might want to go ahead and check out the Phantom 8 because it has a special action called the PHA 50, and that one gives you a really nice action. You're going to go ahead and it's going to have a texture on the top of the keys, and you're going to see a little wood on the side, and it's going to give you what we call escapement. So when you press down on the key bed, when on the key, you're going to feel a point where the key presses it and it's going to stop and break, which simulates the feel of an acoustic piano and it breaking as well. So breaking the strings so you can reset and you can do trills and different things. So it's going to have that nice feeling. And that's something you're going to really enjoy when you get a Phantom 8 and utilize that V piano engine. So Scott, why don't you show some sounds? I just showed a couple, but I'll go back to show some more. And let's take a look.
I'm
Or,
trying.
I tell you what, Scott, let me continue. Let me show you guys some more
Yeah.
sounds while Scott's looking at that. So let me show you my screen here again. And I just showed you that phaser, but I'm sure some of you already noticed this, like, hey, Ed, how come you have stars by your Phantom? What does that mean? Well, here's the cool thing. With an instrument such as the Phantom, where we have thousands and thousands, literally thousands of sounds, it can be kind of like, okay, where's this one sound I was
Yeah,
looking for?
that was the issue I was having when you asked me. I'm like, where do I want to even start? There's so much sitting here.
Yeah. So one thing you can do, and I've already done, I could take a sound in here, a tone, and I could say, you know what, I really like this sound. And over here, I really like this sound. I could say, okay, and I can say, you know what, I want to save this sound, so I can go ahead and rate it. So you see the little star here. I could touch it there, or I could go back in. Let me get back in there, and I can just press the button and I can go ahead and rate the sound. So if I go ahead and get it, I can go ahead and start rating. So here it is, rate right there. So I can do it 1 star, 2 star, or 3 star. So that just puts like a little earmark there. So I know, hey, I really like that sound. And then I can rate it from 1 to 3. And then once I have the sounds that I like that I rated, I can go ahead and press down on this knob here or on the screen, press it, and it's going to bring all of my star rated sounds to me. So all of my rated tones to me that quickly. Nice thing is I can do this anywhere. So for instance, a lot of the organs in here, I've already gone through and I've picked a lot of organs, and I was like, well, let me go ahead and choose from the ones that I really enjoy. I can just go ahead and press the rating, and I'm like, oh, here's some that I already love, already right in there. So very, very quick going. So I can actually come in, and you'll probably notice right away, I love a lot of the synth stuff. So I can come in very fast and have some really nice. So it makes it really nice if you go in here. Really nice way to go in here and rate your tones so you can call them up. And look at this. I can actually, after I rate them, unrated, I see I have 30 pages of synth leads, Scott. 30
Yeah.
pages of synth leads.
Well, the thing is, I think you guys can see real quick, this is a favorites. In the past, when we've done favorites and other keyboards, it's limited. You might have 50, you might have 100, you might have a little bit more, but that's it. With the Phantom, you can rate them as your 3 stars or your best sounds that you want to go after, your 2 or your 1, rate them down, but it's pretty much unlimited.
Yeah.
So with having over 8,000 sounds on board, this is really, really cool to be able to just go through it. And like Ed showed, you've got how many pages of leads?
Oh, just on this leads. And I still need to update some more stuff on my Phantom, because my Phantom I'm always doing experiments on. But at this time, I have over 30 pages of leads. And so
Wow.
I really need to, like, okay, I need to go ahead and limit some of these. So I rated them, and now I'm down to 4 pages of my all-time favorite leads. And here's something else for everybody. You see a search. I can go in here and search. And so I might say, there's this one sound, Scott, I just loved. It's just my guilty pleasure kind of sound called West Coast. And I can just do this and go, okay, let's type it up. So let me see. I'm currently in the synth area, synth lead. So I can type W E. Oh, there's only 6 hits, so let's see what it got. Oh, what's not in there? Well, check this out. I can go back in here and I can say, hit that drop down window, and I can have it search through my entire keyboard. So all of my sounds of the Phantom, and I can say, okay, let's look up that West Coast sound that I just love. Oh, let's see what it has right here. There it is, West Coast, that quickly. So we just went down from thousands of sounds and specifically found that sound. That fast, we can go ahead and find whatever sounds. And you see
Very
this
cool.
one is rated, but I was like, where is it? Where is it, Scott? And that's one way I can go ahead and find it that way.
So
So
again, if you're a studio musician, if you're a gigging musician, whatever you're doing, I think Ed has showed you real quick. Great way to do favorites, also to search. So if you're looking for string sounds or a specific kind of string sounds, like a Jupiter 8, for instance, you can search those. So now we've kind of gone through how we layer and how we can find some sounds and star them. And we're just barely going into the knobs, the oscillator knobs and filter knob. I mean, again, this is very unique for a workstation to have these dedicated knobs sitting here.
yeah,
Um,
go
and
go
then,
for it. Tell us about some of that, Scott, please.
well, the let's see. Yeah, I'll kind of go through this one. So basically, we've got these knobs, oscillator knobs and things. So depending on what I pick up, so I'll just go into a zone view. Let's just say it's the sound. If I hit the parameter button here, I can go right into specifics for that sound. Let's do this guy. Okay, cool. So you can see square wave. I can change any of these parameters and go through this just by hitting this button. The other way that I can go through it is just to turn one of the value knobs, and I can change things this way, or which engine, PCM, virtual analog, PCM sync, or what type. And if you move over and we start going into the filter section, it's the same thing. If I hit the parameter button, I go right into that screen. This is extremely time saving. Instead of going menu, tone edit, and going through all this other stuff, I can just hit buttons and go directly into what I want to do and what I want to edit. So again, these are dedicated. It is awesome. And there's even an effects section that you can just hit effects, go through the depths, go through the changes, what I want to change it to. It's just awesome the way that this thing is laid out. I mean, I've been around it for a little while here, and I'm still extremely excited about what the Phantom can offer.
Absolutely. That's a great point. And so, as everybody can see, editing inside the Phantom is very easy. Now, what about, hey, Scott, is there a way if, like, since I have all of these tones and with all these zones and all these scenes, how am I going to choose? How am I going to go into here and say, okay, I need to go from this scene to this scene, and how am I going to jump from this scene to this scene without doing what I'm doing now? Is there a cooler way that we can do that with our scenes?
Absolutely. There's a thing on the Phantom. It's called chain. The button just says chain, but basically what it is it's a scene chain, or like a set list mode or something like that. What you can do is you can organize your scenes in any order that you want. You can color code them. They will show up on the buttons below down here. They'll show up in order, and Ed will probably go through how to put one together real quick. Or you could have like a master chain and put all your songs there. The reason why this is important is a lot of us that are playing in things, we may change the set list with the band, or the band leader decides, hey, I want to do this song in front of this one, and so on and so forth. And you're like, oh, I just programmed all this stuff. Now I got to pay attention to that. Yeah. Well, you can easily put things together in a scene chain in any order that you want, and then just move through them.
Okay.
So do you want to show that?
Yeah, I'll show that right now. So check it out. So I have a gig going up, a church or live gig, whatever concert, and I need to organize my files here. So I'll go ahead and make it so you guys can see. So here's the button. It's called chain right here. So I can just press the chain button and hit the drop down menu, and I actually have 100 chains. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but if we were to go ahead and take an initialized chain here, each chain can have up to 32 pages of 16. So that's up to 512 scenes you could throw in there. So let's go ahead and do one now very quickly. Now I'm going to press edit right here, and then look, I just select the scene. So I can go ahead and change the different banks. And so let's start at that first one. It's red. That's fine. Okay, that's in there. Also, keep notice what's going to happen here. I'm going to go to this next one. Select another one, another scene. Let's check it. It's yellow. This is yellow. Wait a minute. Let's go next right here. Select another one from a different bank, and we'll choose uh, my song sounds. We'll go ahead and have some more fun, and we'll choose another couple more. So you're seeing right here what we're able to do very quickly is to come into here and kind of take our scenes, no matter the bank that they live, wherever they're at. And you see, as I'm bringing them into this scene chain, the buttons are lighting up. So when chain is lit, now these tone select button, these category buttons will allow me to change scenes. And now watch this. I can go ahead and press the right button right there. Now they're there. I'm ready for my gig. I can come in and say, let me edit it. I can go ahead and watch this. I can say, you know what? I didn't mean to put this scene right there. I need to go ahead and put it at a different spot. So I can cut it and I can say, okay, let's insert that scene right there. Or what if I need to come in and say, oh, I need that's our entry song right here. So let me go ahead. Let's go ahead and copy that, and I'll put it at the end of there. So our intro and our outro to the set. If I needed to say, well, let me go ahead and copy these guys, and we'll do them another spot. Watch this. I can copy and paste, and notice what's happening over here. So I just made my changes. That's great. And now, if I want to, as I'm playing live, I am changing scenes just by pressing the top buttons. So very cool. And keep in mind, as I change scene, it's changing as different one sound, one tone in the zone. I could have multiple zones. I could have songs automatically load up for me, different samples, all from here. And all I had to do once again was press chain, and then I just choose what chain I want to do very quickly. So so if I have a gig like Ed's gig 1, here I have all of these already set, and I could just jump around very quick and easy. So this is something that, as a live performer, that I really, really enjoy. It takes the thinking out of it. So as soon as you get your song list, your set list, your hymnal list, whatever you're doing, you can go ahead and just use that scene change. So that's something that's really hip inside the Phantom. Now, go ahead, Scott.
It's really cool because I think you guys noticed that the buttons were the same colors as the scenes. So you may decide, for instance, you just have this option. This song is red, this song is blue, this song is yellow. Easy to see. You can also move through these with a foot pedal or anything like that. However you do things, it will work for you with this. The other thing, too, as Ed said, each scene chain is 512, and you have 100 chains available, which is a grand total of 51,200 slots that you can work with.
Absolutely.
51,000.
Now we're running out of time, but there's, the great thing about the Phantom, there's so much to grow with. Let's go ahead and talk about sequencing here inside the Phantom real quick. So kind of have some fun. We have our sequencer in here. Go ahead, Scott. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, if you're just joining us or coming in, again, we've been told about these great deals that Kraft is offering right now with the Phantom. So please call the 1-800 number for your sales advisor and see what they're offering. We can't publicly do it, but we can do it through there. So please call them, because I think you're going to be blown away at how awesome the deal is on the Phantoms. And again, you could get a 61 key, 76, or an 88, and a shirt. So you can also get the Phantom shirt like this while supplies last. So I know that one's not a big deal, but they're bundles, and the disc, you're going to be blown away. So definitely check it out. Sorry, Ed, go ahead.
No, absolutely. Yeah, we always got to support craftmusic.com and the great deals they have there, especially with their bundles. But real quick, let me show you the sequencer. So if I want to do a sequence, I can do it from any scene that I want. So if I had something that came up that I just really like, I can just go ahead and start sequencing there. If I wanted to start fresh, which I might go ahead and do in this one, I can go ahead and say, you know what, let's go ahead and single tone. I'm going to put this here. And watch very quickly. I have a couple of different ways I can go ahead and sequence. I'm going to say, you know what, on this one, I'm going to put some drums. On this one, this zone, I'm going to put maybe a bass, and I might want to go ahead and do, let's start for my rating. I'll go ahead and use this compressed finger bass. That's fine. On this particular zone, I might come into here and say, let's choose an electric piano. Of course, let's use that chorus EP right there, and let's just try there. Just 3 things. Now watch how quick this is. So much fun. I have a TR rec mode right here. I can just press that, and I might go ahead and say, you know what? Let's go ahead and start with maybe some drums or something. Just go ahead and have some fun with that. So I can come into here, and here we go. Oops, I'm just moving around. There we go. Have my drums. I'll hit TR rec very quick, and I can have anywhere from 1 to 32 measures, and I'm going to just use 1. That's all we need. I have it at a scale of 1/16, and let's go ahead and press play. So right now, I can just go ahead and program my drums real quick. If I make a mistake, no problem. If I want to have something a little bit different, that's fine. Go ahead and hit a little bit of hi-hats, just punch it in there. Maybe I want to have it a little bit different. I'll just go across. And let's put a nice little snare. So we got that going. That's pretty hip. Now let's press stop. Now watch this. TR rec folds into patterns. So we just created a pattern very quickly. So if I wanted to create a different pattern in a traditional linear type of way, also very easy. I'm going to turn on my volume for a second. I can go ahead and press record, and I can tell the recording destination to create a new one every time I press record, or mix, so I can do some overdubbing. Count in, I have choices of 1 measure, 2 measure, or wait note. I'll go ahead and use wait note. So as soon as I touch the keyboard or the pedal, it's going to start recording. Input quantize, I can choose whether I want to do grid or shuffle, and then I can choose the resolution. And I'm going to leave mine at a 16th note. And then I'll go ahead and set mine to 1 measure. And so there it is. It's ready. So let's go ahead and just do a basic beat very quick. So let's go ahead and try it. That fast. Now, if I want to, I can go ahead and go back into record, and I can start recording. I have it on mix. Let's go at recording. Okay. I made a mess up. Not a problem. Watch this. I can actually come into here, and I can erase either 1 wrong note or the section of wrong notes. So it's okay. You can just try stuff however you want and kind of have fun with it. I can press close. It's still recording. I can say, you know what? Let's go ahead and stop record, and I'm ready. Let's record. It's recording, and let's just record. Here we go. So that quickly, I was able to record that. Now, if I wanted to, I can come into here and say, you know, let's record a bass very fast. Also 1 measure. And I didn't put loop before, but that's no problem. Let's record a bass. Here we go. Great. I'll go ahead and stop that. I'm going to go ahead and move over to maybe an electric piano. It's not loud enough, or the bass is too loud. Let's bring down the bass. When I'm ready, go ahead and bring up the window again. I'll just do 1 measure. That's all we need. Let's start recording. It's recording, and let's come in. And look how quickly we created a track. We just did 1 measure. We didn't go anything crazy. We created that track, and it's set to go. But here's the cool thing. Maybe I don't like that drum kit that I just did, that drum rhythm. I can come over to here and say, I want you to play that drum rhythm. So now I can have a whole different vibe. Maybe I come into here and say, you know what? I don't like that electric piano, but I'm going to keep it in the same key, and I'm going to do something else. So let's go ahead and try something else. Ready to go? It's on wait note, 1 measure, loop record. So here we go. That quick. And now if I want to, Totally different vibe. Let's bring that back. And now let's bring back that other beat.
And again, don't forget, you can also control this from the pads. So you don't have touch the screen. You've got that other option.
Yeah, like Scott's saying, there's so much, the thing about this Fantom, there's so much musical goodness in it that, we could just go on. And some of, you guys know that we can totally do this, but I'm gonna show you where exactly Scott is talking about.
Yeah.
So inside here, if I go, we haven't even touched so much, Scott. That's the crazy
Well,
thing.
we haven't even gotten into the USB and how awesome that is with your computer and everything. I mean, there's so much to cover.
Yeah, so we're going to try and cover, because we're running out of time, but that's the great thing. So check this out. In here, I have what's called a pad mode, and the pads can do sampling, they can do notes, they can do DAW control, keyboard switch groups, all this stuff, but I can also change patterns all from here. So just switching very fast, turn things on. Very quick. Now, here's another nice thing. If I wanted to, I could go in here and create a grouping of what I just did, and then I could go ahead and take that grouping and create a song from it. So let me give you a super, super quick example of that. I have some songs already created in here. So in this example, they already have a bunch of patterns in here, and they have a song already created. So if I wanted to, I just press play, and I can have that there. Now, here's what I want to show you. After you have your song, how do you get it out of here? Well, here's two options for you. We can come into this song and we can say, you know what, let's export this song, and we can export those parameters, and we can go ahead and send it out to the USB as a standard MIDI file, so you can throw it inside your DAW and do whatever you want. Here's how I like to do it. Since we have a sampler in here, I could always go ahead and press sampler, and I could say, you know what? Very quickly, I can say, Mr. Sampler, I want you to sample the keyboard and give me a nice stereo track. So check this out. I can have my sampler go record the keyboard and whatever's coming through the input. So if I want to have one of my friends play along in this kind of a rough track, I can have it just record the input solely, so I can use that for samples. Or I could say, record the keyboard, because I want to go ahead and have this auto triggered, so that way I can play it in my truck. So check this out. All I got to do, it's already set to go. My song's already there, auto trigger. Just press play and it'll start recording. So that quickly, I did a very fast recording, a sample that I can save to my thumb drive from the Fantom and put it in any DAW I want, or inside, share it however I want. So, before we move on very fast to the USB, Scott, there's a couple of questions that maybe you can take.
Sure.
One.
Yeah, what do we got?
Okay.
Can't read. I even got my glasses on. Okay. I still can't read.
I'll read it for you, Scott. I can read it. It says, from John, he says, I'm a programmer. Is there a programming API for complex compositions? So,
I would probably, I don't even know what's the best way to answer that.
I think I got this one. Okay. So inside the Fantom, the way we've been thinking about the Fantom is, of course, you can do a lot of great compositions and stuff like that, but we've kind of stepped it one step further, because now with the Fantom can be used as a USB audio interface, audio MIDI interface. So what I like to do is I like to use my Fantom to go ahead and sketch my compositions, and then use one of the computer-oriented DAWs that's available to me. So stuff like Logic or Ableton or whatever else is out there. So that is the way I would do it, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. Someone just asked, multi-sampling. We have some things planned for you. Like I said, one of the great things about the Fantom, without going into too much detail at this time, is it is obsolete proof. We are working hard. We've had a little bit, the world has had a little bit of wrench and things, but we are working hard to bring you more features and functionality to the Fantom. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. Stay tuned for that. So that's something that's real cool. So real quick, because I think we're running out of time. I want to go ahead and show you very fast, and let me go ahead and open this up.
Well, we're familiar with keyboards being audio MIDI interfaces before.
Yeah.
We've done several of them. Other companies out there have done the same thing. So just through a USB cable, plug it into your computer, and it's transferring all MIDI and audio. Now, in most cases, you really only get a stereo track that's moving through the USB cable, which could be good. But when you're working with sequences and things, this is where the Phantom does what no other is doing right now.
Yeah, so right now, and I'm about to bring it up for you guys, so you can see. Oops, here we go. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I am bringing it up. I'm bringing up a new project for you real fast so you guys can see. So check this out. I'm going to use Logic very fast, and I'm going to have my Phantom be my input and my output device here. This is cool. And I'm going to bring an empty project. And I could do this in regular empty linear view of Logic, or I can also do it in live loops. It doesn't matter. That's something that's cool. So I'll go ahead and choose this
And
format.
again, this will work in any DAW like this. It's just using Logic as an example.
Absolutely. So now here's the great thing about the Phantom. I'm going to go ahead and say, well, look at all the audio inputs I have of the Phantom. What is this? All through USB, all through USB. So I have 16 zones of the inside the Phantom per scene. And so now I have the ability to record each zone as a stereo track, therefore giving me 32 inputs over USB. So watch this very quick. I'm going to say, how many tracks do we want to do? I want to do 16 audio tracks, and I'm doing this live for you. So here we go. Here's all my audio tracks, and let's go ahead and just take a peek and see what happens. So I'll go ahead and pull up, let's go ahead and pull up that song again. Just let it play. I'll turn it down a little bit. And so you're seeing right here on the screen, I have different things going on. So watch this very quickly without doing anything. Let me turn off this count in. Let me turn off the metronome. And everything is set to record. Let's go ahead and record inside the Phantom. So watch this. Go ahead and so we're recording all of this live. All right, let me stop my recording, stop the sequencer, and look at this, everybody. This is really cool. I didn't do anything really special. I just told the Phantom to go ahead and just go ahead and record all these audio tracks. So let's take a listen to some of this. So I can come into here. Let's solo this track and see what we have here. Press play. That's the drums. Awesome. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Very fast going in here. And now here's something else I want to show you that I'm not mentioning yet that the Phantom can do. Inside the Phantom, we have thought about this. You have something called DAW control. So if I press DAW control here, I can actually come into here and have different things. I have main stage up too. So let me go ahead and cancel main stage. There's Logic. So very quickly, and let me see if I can have them both up for you. There we go. I can go ahead and have the Phantom change things in Logic for me. So I can go ahead and change different tracks, and I'm just using my Phantom. I can go ahead and press play right there in there. I could go ahead and record if I wanted to. This makes it super hip in there.
The coolest thing in the DAW control is the mix feature, where you can actually use the sliders on the Phantom as for the mixer.
Yeah, let me go ahead and see if I can bring that up real fast for you here. Let me real quick, and I know we're out of time, but there's just so much. So all I have to do in here, watch me mess it up. So because that happens. All right, so I can come into here, and I can adjust my levels, and let me see, try to get this in here. There we go. So I can come into here, and look at this. I'm using my Phantom. And here, I was trying to see so you guys can see.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm using my Phantom to change, to mix. So I'm using it as kind of like a mixing desk right on there.
How cool is that? So it doesn't have to necessarily be a Phantom sound. It could be a vocal track that you've recorded into Logic or anything like that, and still just be able to go back old-fashioned and just grab those sliders and pan knobs and things and just do it from the surface instead of in the box. Just
Yeah.
awesome.
This is really cool. So this is something that we definitely want to share with you guys, and you can kind of see in the Fantom in there. Now, like I said, like Scott and I have said, the Fantom is more features and benefits are on the way. Features and functionality are coming. So Arthur, don't worry, more stuff is coming for the Fantom. We have a lot of people all over the world working very hard for you. Also working hard for you is Kraft Music. So make sure you check out craftmusic.com. And let me show you. I got this on the screen. Get me off the screen.
Yeah.
Craftmusic.com. You can go there to find, check out all the bundles that they have available for you on the Fantom 6, 7, and 8. There is no differences between the Fantom other than the key. So if whether you're getting a 6, 7, or 8, they have the same engine completely. The only difference is a 61 note keyboard, a 76 note, and an 88 key keyboard with a PHA 50, which gives you escapement. And so
they're offering an incredible deal right now. So definitely, even if you're curious, just call them. They'll tell you what the deal is, and I think you'll be extremely impressed. Plus the shirt. Plus you get
them special deals after this one. And then don't forget, you can call them at 800-783-3368 and speak to your Kraft sales advisor. Go to craftmusic.com. Check out all the deals and bundles available. Mention this webcast, and you can probably get a t-shirt and some other cool stuff in there.
Yeah.
All right. So I tell you what, Scott, I think that's all we have for now, unless you want to add something.
I was just going to say, did we just want to go over a quick recap? I mean, I think you guys saw how easy it was to layer sounds, that you could do that from the surface. You didn't have to go digging. If you wanted to edit sounds or find sounds, you could do that very quickly. You've got a sequencer on board that then can be exported out to your DAW individual tracks. That's really, really cool because it all happens at the same time. Or if you had a massive layer and you wanted to send it out and be able to process different things or something like that in your DAW. Sampler section, pads can control the sequencer, over 8,000 sounds with just the expansions and things. I don't know where else to go. I mean, there's so much that's sitting on this, and it's constantly being updated and new things are coming for it. There's some really cool stuff coming around the corner, guys. So it is a good investment to get into.
Yep. And don't forget, we can control external software with this, with also MainStage. You can do that. Also, I've already figured out some great stuff you can do with Ableton. We have our different controllers that are so easy to program in here. We have our mic inputs, balance, phantom power. We have multiple MIDI, like Scott's saying, the pads, just a lot of audio goodness that really shows you how the Fantom can be your creative hub. So
absolutely.
You guys check it out. I hope you're having a good time tonight. Everybody be safe out there. And make sure you go to craftmusic.com, speak to your sales advisor, and check out all the bundles that are available for you at Kraft.
Do it.
Do it. My name is Ed Diaz, and my partner, Scott Berry. You guys take care, and we will see you next time. Take care. Bye.
Bye, guys.